Hi, it's Rhonda again from Funky Freaks. This is a different type of video and it's going to show you a professional technique on how to do colour changes. Sit back and relax. So what I've done here is just to get ready for the colour change. So I'm not quite completing my stitch yet. What I want to do is get to my last stitch, insert my hook as normal to do a single crochet. Just going to take that main yarn to the back while I bring in the new colour. So the red will then complete the stitch. And that's my single crochet row completed. Then I carry on doing single crochet. So this is the main method that most people would learn, working single crochets all the way around. And you would do that, you get all the way around to the end, and I'll meet you back so you can see what happens here. So these are the last couple of stitches. Just getting my yarn out of the way. And I'm going to continue with a single crochet as normal in the last couple of stitches here. And then ready for the first stitch of the next round, I will just continue doing a single crochet for a couple of stitches. Now the reason why I do that is because I want to make sure my sort of jagged edge, that jump, isn't quite so obvious. So I've stitched a couple of extra single crochet stitches, and I'm going to bring in the main colour again and complete that stitch, complete the single crochet. And now I'm ready just to continue doing another row of single crochet in the main colour. Snipped off the red, tucked that out the way so I can continue without any issues. So single crochet, normal single crochet through both loops, all the way around. I'm going to do that, do a few of those rows in the grey, and then we're going to come back and we're going to have a look at the second method. Okay, so with the second method, again just finishing up my last stitch, so I'm going to colour change as normal, completing the stitch in the new colour. Okay, so that's my last single crochet completed. Now with the first stitch, I'm actually going to work into, not both of those loops, but into the back loop. And I'm going to slip stitch. That's my first stitch. Back loop again, and slip stitch. Back loop again, and slip stitch. I'm my worst enemy here because I do stitch quite tightly, so when it comes to doing slip stitch, it makes the stitches a bit tight to pull the yarn through. So slip stitch, and basically you do that all the way around. So you're not working both loops like we did in the first method, you're working just the back loops. So you have the two loops there, but we just want to work these back loops here all the way around with a slip stitch. Okay, so these are the last few stitches of that round. And in the first method, we sort of just continued on, but with this one, we're just going to work the first stitch once we've finished here slightly differently. So back loop, slip stitch. Okay, so this is the second round. We're going to try and minimize the jump that you get here. So I'm going to work the front loop only with a slip stitch. That's my first stitch. The second stitch, I'm going to then continue in the back loop only like we did before. I mean, you can clearly see we've got, they're slightly smaller as well because the stitch is a little tighter, but you can clearly see the two loops that you get with the slip stitch. They are quite firm. So it can be a bit tricky to try and get your hook into those, but we're just going to be working into these back loops here at the back. So this is the second round of this second method, picking up, sorry I've gone out of camera shot, picking up the back loop, but I'm going to single crochet this time. So slipping into that back loop and single crochet, yarn over, there we go, single crochet. So back loop again, yarn over and single crochet. And you're going to work the same way all the way around. So I'm at my last few stitches. Back loop, single crochet, back loop, single crochet. But I'm going to complete my last stitch in the back loop in the main colour and just slip that through. So still a single crochet, but we're just going to slip that through. And then we're going to continue in the back loop, slip stitch, back loop, slip stitch. So there are 2 rounds, if you like, or 2 rows with this particular colour change. The first round is your sort of setup round with these slip stitches, so back loop only and slip stitch all the way around. And then when you get to the end of that, working in the back loop, slip stitching the last couple of stitches, you then complete the colour change method by working a single crochet. Okay, this is our first stitch then, and like we did before, we're going to work the front loop because we want to minimize the jagged edge. So we're working the front loop here. And we're going to work that as a single crochet. Then it's back loop only, single crochet, back loop only, single crochet, back loop only, single crochet, all the way around. So finishing off that round, the last stitches in the back loop only with single crochets, and then when I get to the end and I'm back at my very first stitch, I'm going to work both loops. We go back to the normal way of crocheting, single crochet both loops all the way around. I'm just going to do a few, just going to do a few of these stitches so that I move away from the colour change area that you can see there. I'm just going to move over to the side here a little bit and out the way. Okay, so let's have a look. What I would then do is I would pull through some of those red threads and just give them a gentle tug. I won't be going crazy, just to make sure again that I'm pulling the threads through, they're not leaving too many bumps. Do the same with the second method, pull that through. My yarn has actually got caught here, so I'm just going to pull that through, get that out the way, and we'll have a look and see what that looks like. Okay, so when you compare the two, the first method, you can see there is a bit of a ledge, but what I've done is, normally you would do the colour change straight away, but I've worked a couple of the extra stitches so that that ledge is sort of stretched over a little bit. Otherwise you would end up with the jagged edge all in the one area. You can see with the second method though, the bump isn't as pronounced. It's got a smooth edge. There is still a bump there, and you're not going to get anything different because you're working in a round. So let's have a look and see what the rows actually look like. In the first method you can clearly see, in the second method you can clearly see the front loop only ridges, but they're nice and tidy. And down below you get the colour change bumps. You can see them at the top and the bottom of the colour change. Whereas with the second method it is perfectly smooth. Pretty cool. I really like that finish. It takes a little bit longer, definitely, but it's worth it. So I hope you really like this. As usual, thumbs up, give us a like, and come back and see us next time.